Nobody wants to look like a noob when they're out riding on the street, especially new riders. So I want to talk about 3 things that you can do, and the funny thing is they're all at under 5 miles an hour, that new riders do a lot that can make you look like this is your first day out on the street. And they all involve probably the most important piece of equipment on your bike, and that's right here. The front brake lever. And if you think about it, that front brake lever, if you can learn how to use that front brake, can change just about every aspect of how you ride on the street, and it probably has the most input to help make you look like a more experienced rider, even sometimes more so than you already are. So back when I was in the military and we were running guns in a shoot house, we used to say, smooth is fast and fast is slow. Well, nothing could apply more succinctly to motorcycling than that saying, especially when it comes to that front brake. I get it. We've all been there. Something happens out on the street. Somebody pulls out in front of you, whatever it is, and you grab onto brakes for all you got. And unfortunately, most of the time, that makes things a whole lot worse, but it happens. It happens to all of us. But here's 3 things that you can do using your front brake lever that will help make you look like a more experienced rider. The first one is when you're coming to a stop, and whether it be a stop sign or pulling into a parking place or a red light, whatever it is, those new riders sometimes come in and they hit that brake and boy, that front fork dives down and then it bucks back up like a bucking bronco. Got to learn how to feather that front brake. When you come in for a stop, think smooth. Smooth is fast. Come in, feather that brake, and just before you come to a stop, feather it off. And that'll keep that front fork from diving down and bucking back up. That's the first one. The second one is when you do come to that stop at a stoplight. You know, I see guys sometimes coming in with those feet flying and they're ready. You look like a big, I forget what the name of that bird is that came in for those crash landings all the time. I used to watch them in movies. But when you come in, feather that brake on, feather it off, and be prepared to lean to the left side and put 1 foot down. Don't come in with both legs out, putting both feet down. It just screams noob. So come in and keep that right foot on the brake pedal and use your front brake. Because when you are stopped, just a piece of advice, always, always, always have that front brake or the rear brake on so that your brake light is on. I even sometimes flash it sometimes in hopes to get the guy behind me to make sure he sees me. The third tip I'll give you is when you come in, and this happens a lot in parking lots, when you're coming in and you're turning the bike to go into that parking space, and you get in that parking space and you get up close to the front of it and you're going to stop, make sure your front wheel is straight before you hit that brake. Because when you're new, a lot of times you have a tendency to grab that front brake a little too hard, and if that front wheel is bent at all, it turns out really bad. What happens is when you pull that brake and the wheel is turned, has a tendency to throw that bike over. I'm almost afraid to demonstrate it because it's so easy actually to do. But when you pull in and you get in that parking space and that front wheel is turned and you grab that brake, that bike wants to kick over. Now, I'm on a Moto Guzzi V7 Sport. The seat's really low. I'm 6 feet tall, 32-inch inseam. I can flat foot, no problem. I can get my legs out away from the bike, so I have lots of leverage to hold this bike up if I need to. But if I was on something like the Stelvio an adventure bike and I'm already on my toes and they're right up close next to the bike just to try and stand up, and that happens, I don't have hardly any leverage at all to keep that bike from falling over. So always remember and just get in the habit of keeping that front wheel straight when you come in and brake. Get out in the parking lot, practice these tips, and keep it safe out there.